8 Christmas stories that aren't in the Bible. 1. Mary didn't try to Bethlehem on a donkey. Joseph went to Bethlehem because of a new tax law. It required a new census, so he went to his ancestral city. Mary went with him. There's no mention of her riding any animal. They probably had to walk all the way. 2. Mary didn't arrive in Bethlehem the night she gave birth. Mary was already pregnant when Joseph went to Bethlehem. There's no mention of how long they stayed there, but it was probably longer than one day. Luke 2:6 says,
"And so it was, that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered."
3. There were no 3 kings bearing gifts. The 3 wise men are mentioned by Matthew, yet they are not present at the birth of Jesus. They speak to King Herod and are sent to follow the star of Bethlehem. So they set out to find Jesus and deliver their gifts.
"And when they had come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother."
It doesn't sound like they attended the birth. Jesus is described as a young child, and he's already in the house. So it's unlikely his birth was attended by 3 strangers. 4. The wise men were not kings of the Orient. They certainly didn't ride camels. Judging by their gifts, the men were rich. Camels were only ridden by the common folk. Wealthy men would have ridden Arabian horses. Second, there's no indication that they were kings. No trio of kings made a pilgrimage to Bethlehem. This would have certainly been recorded. The Gospels call them magi, which simply meant wise men. 5. Jesus wasn't born in a barn. No barns or stables are mentioned in the Gospels. According to Luke, the baby was placed in a manger, but scholars say it's a mistranslation of guest room. Jesus was probably born in his relative's house. The story of no room at the inn is also a mistranslation. 6. No animals were present at Jesus' birth. No donkeys or oxen are mentioned in the Gospels. The nativity scene was probably inspired by Isaiah 1:3.
"The ox knows its owner, and the ox its master's crib."
Obviously, Isaiah was not referring to Jesus or birth. 7. Jesus wasn't born on December 25th. The Gospels never specify the date of Jesus' birth. Moreover, there's 0 mention of the season. There's no reason to think Jesus was born in winter. Christmas wasn't celebrated until about 330 AD. The church fixed the date as December 25th. This corresponds to the winter solstice on the Roman calendar. 8. The baby was not named Jesus Christ. The Hebrew version of his name was Yeshua. He would have been called Yeshua ben Yosef, son of Joseph. The name Jesus comes from the Greek Isus, but the English equivalent of Yeshua is actually Joshua. It means healer or savior. As for the Christ part, there were no last names in ancient Judea. The Christ was a title first bestowed in the Gospel of John. It's another Greek word meaning anointed. The anointed one is usually translated as the Messiah.